calendar flips to August in USL Championship. It's not only hot outside, the heat is turning up on both these clubs below the playoff line. San Antonio FC, FC Tulsa meet tonight here on Valley Sports. And a pleasant good evening. We say hello from the broadcast booth with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Katie, let's start with San Antonio FC. Losers in 7 of their last 8 matches, and right now they cannot find a way to score goals.
Yeah, I mean, putting themselves in really good scoring positions, but just can't finish the job there in that 18. They've really struggled on both sides of the field in both boxes.
You see the shooting accuracy, just 27%, 27 shots on target of their 100 total. They've been outscored 14-5 in those 8 matches total, but they're hopeful that the return of Luis Solignac to the starting 11 tonight is the boost that their attack needs. Lucho, 44 career goals in his 98 appearances.
Right, and as you can see there on the screen, 9 goals in 18 career matches there with SAFC, was a captain back in 2020. He's got that goal-scoring power that San Antonio needs, but they need him to unlock it here in this game tonight. I think with him being a starter, you might see that.
He makes his first start here in almost a year, going back to last August when he was with El Paso. Meanwhile, for Tulsa, keeper Johan Peñaranda, he is having himself a moment right now. He's up for Player of the Month in July in USL Championship, and very deserved with numbers like those.
4 clean sheets and 6 starts, and 20 saves so far on the season, 90% save rate. That's a huge deal walking into a team. You don't know anybody. The keeper is such an integral piece of the puzzle there in the starting 11, and he's just handled it with ease.
Tulsa hasn't given up a goal in 301 minutes. San Antonio FC hasn't scored a goal in 189. We'll see who breaks tonight. Starting 11 and kick coming up on the other side.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, qualified buyers get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months or $3,000 customer cash on a new 2024 Tundra iForce Max.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Our H-E-B Bakery watermelon cake. Our watermelon cake is a white cake with watermelon buttercream. Not only are you seeing the watermelon, you're tasting it too. The best part? No seeds. H-E-B Bakery watermelon cake. To Texas with love.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Deep dishes for tourists.
Tavern-style pizza is our thing. You just had to tell America about our thin, crispy crust.
Try any of our large Chicago Tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Sorry, Chicago. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Who can tell me what they want to be when they grow up? Rico?
Are you seriously gonna have nachos for all?
San Antonio FC Soccer on Valley Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. And by Rico's. Hey, San Antonio, keep it cheesy out there. Vote for Rico's means nachos for all. Humid, warm evening here tonight at Toyota Field. SAFC and FC Tulsa get together for the second and final time this season. Rico's brings you our starting 11s for both sides. For FC Tulsa, Diogo Pacheco on the left flank, wearing number 70, had a brace in the last meeting between these clubs back on the 8th of June as Tulsa won that match 2-1. He'll be a player to watch outside tonight as well for Alan Marcina and the rest of San Antonio FC. And for SAFC's lineup here tonight, talking with the coach yesterday, he told me that this is most likely the group of 11 that he would like to go with for the remainder of the season, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2 players. Reese Buckmaster is out tonight with a lower body injury, as is Lucas Silva as well. A couple of guys that might get interchanged in here, but this is likely to be the rotation that Alan Marcina will go with moving forward. As take a look at the SAFC head coach, he is trying to find somebody to pick up the slack offensively for his club, and he talked about that earlier this week.
Don't win you a game. But statistically, we've been the superior team in both games. We've outpossessed the opponent, we've outshot the opponent, we've had more corners than the opponent. Clearly, we're the aggressors. Statistically, we were superior, so I can confidently say that we are performing, but we're not fully executing that final action. and we have to.
Yeah.
That final actions, that final pass, that final shot. We need to put the ball in the back of the net. And we've been saying that early on in the preseason since now. So at some point it has to happen if we want to climb the ladder. If it doesn't happen, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah. They have 100 shots in their last 8 matches, but only 5 goals of those 100 shots. And so it has been tough sleddings on the attack. San Antonio FC begins the night 6 points below the playoff line. The 8th and final playoff spot currently occupied by Monterey Bay FC. Our center referee for tonight, J.C. Griggs, his assistants, Ricardo Ocampo and Noah Kenyawani, and our 4th official is William Hale as we are underway. Our opening kick, as always, presented by Pizza Hut with Katie Goodman and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening on Bally Sports. San Antonio FC has lost 7 of their last 8 matches. Their lone win 2 weeks ago here at Toyota Field was what at the time, Katie, we thought a turning point victory, 2-1 over Phoenix Rising, but then back-to-back losses on the most recent trip against Orange County in Memphis 901.
I think it definitely helps coming back to that Toyota Field fortress here and having the 12th man, that is the fans and the fan base and the energy here to help them kind of get over that hump a little bit. But yeah, just have not been able to hold things down on the road at all whatsoever this season. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to really fix what's going on in both 18 boxes if they want to make their, stamp their ticket into the playoffs.
This is Burra, a little bit of space, gives it a go, and it's over the goal of Johan Peñaranda.
For a bit there, it almost looked like it might have been deflected, but I think everyone can agree it's going to be a goal kick. But it's one of those situations where you have a good look at goal and you just got to put your chest over it. You're in a situation now where every look at the goal counts.
Katie, what are your keys tonight for FC Tulsa in this match?
For Tulsa, they're just going to probably most likely stick in that low block defense. They have an incredible defensive back line, really hard to break through. And by sticking with that low to mid block, you can expect them to get out in transition as well. That's something that they've done really well this season. All of their goals have come from getting out in transition, out behind the back line, a quick switch. So as San Antonio being the high press team that they are, that's a perfect bait and switch there for FC Tulsa.
And the $1 million question, as you'll tell us, how San Antonio FC is going to find the back of the net tonight.
Well, for me, it's about creative movement up top always. Alan was talking about struggling with the final pass. They're getting into scoring positions, but they could be in better scoring positions with a little bit more movement up top. I think you're going to see that. You've got Jorge, you've got Lucho in the mix, and then, of course, you've got strongman Agudelo up there as well. And if they can get some creative combinations going, they might just get a much better, clearer look at the goal, and maybe that's what they need. Stop trying to be fancy. Take it first touch if you got it, but, maybe get yourself in a better spot to begin with.
San Antonio FC in their red and black kits here tonight, and FC Tulsa in their white kits with the green pinstripe. This is the 17th all-time regular season meeting between these two clubs. Of course, goes back to 2016 when both were expansion sides in USL Championship. FC Tulsa back then was known as Tulsa Roughnecks before making the branding switch a few years ago, and they're back in the Western Conference for the first time in 3 seasons as well, too. Thus playing San Antonio FC twice here for the first time, going back to the 2021 campaign.
San Antonio hasn't beat Tulsa since 2022, looking to get back to their winning ways here. It's the first time we've seen San Antonio with a full roster.
Nelson Flores Blanco with a cross that's intercepted. Alan Marcina talked about how the book is out on San Antonio FC in terms of what their attack is. They've become primarily a crossing club, and as they come into tonight with a successful 58 total crosses amongst the leaders in USL Championship, but people know how to defend them now because they know they play out wide and send that service in from the wide flanks.
It's a little too predictable, and that's exactly what I mean by creative movement up top. You've got to switch it up if it's not working, and yeah, that's one thing a defender loves, is forcing someone wide to cross it in, and then you're beat out of the air.
Look at Mario Sanchez, first-year head coach, was named head coach and technical director back on the 16th of January. Sanchez came over from Louisville City, where not only was he the technical director and assistant coach for the NWSL club, the Racing Louisville FC, but he was also the academy director at Lou City, which of course has produced so many good players in USL Championship over the years, and he's brought a couple of those players over with him to Tulsa. It's the turn by Philip Goodrum, and he plays across the face of goal, and nobody there on the other end to receive it.
Another name that everybody, I'm sure, has been talking about. What a great save there from Pablo Solignac, coming out to meet the ball. Always good with those short hands in those situations. But Philip Goodrum, definitely a guy that San Antonio is going to be picking on here tonight.
Goodrum had 12 goals last season in Tulsa, 4 goals in his 15 appearances this season for the former third-round pick of Atlanta United back in 2020. He's the goal finisher that Alan Marcina is so desperately looking to find on his side of the ball. Juan Agudelo, SAFC's leading goal scorer, 7 coming into tonight, which actually is tied for 13th, Katie, in the Golden Boot race. But Agudelo's goals have come primarily off set-piece services from Jorge Hernandez, especially as of late.
Right, a 30% success rate for San Antonio off the set piece, which may not sound like much, but in the grand scheme of the USL Championship is actually pretty successful. So I think name of the game here is try to get some more set pieces, and it seems that Jorge just knows how to find Juan Agudelo. It's what happens with it after that.
7 assists for Jorge Hernandez, tied for first in USL Championship. He continues to lead the league in chances created as this ball drops in front of Peñaranda. Johan Peñaranda has started the last 7 matches. Wasn't even on the club at the beginning of the season. Was a training camp invitee. And then there was no roster spot for him until the end of May. And with an injury to starting keeper Joey Rogovan, and then Michael Creek not very effective at 3-3-2 in his 8 starts, they turned to Peñaranda, and all he's done is given up 2 goals in his 6 starts.
I think it's just that classic case of you get your opportunity and you don't squander it. He has just absolutely reached for the stars.
And it's a shame that Tulsa has about as much trouble scoring as San Antonio FC does, because they would be much further up the table based on the way that Peñaranda has played as of late. This ball is free, and a great chance early for Juan Agudelo is shot wide.
Have to look back at that. Shannon taking him on 1v1. He gets the ball across to the 5.
It was Burra right there.
It's a little bit loose, yeah, and it's Burra trying to take it from outside the boot. Just didn't get the bend on it that he wanted. But this is what I mean. They're getting into scoring positions. Sometimes, I think as a coach, that might be the problem you want to have. At least you're not having to recreate the wheel, so to speak, of how you get into the attack. They're doing it. It's just putting it away now. And I think a lot of that comes down to finishing drills and muscle memory. And
see that note for Tulsa, 301 consecutive minutes entering tonight without a goal conceded. That is a club record for them. 3 consecutive shutouts. They're coming off a 0-0 draw at home against Indy 11, one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and for many, a game in which everybody thought they outplayed Indy 11 despite not coming up with a goal. Problem for Tulsa that night was that they did not record a shot on target. It was the first time they hadn't recorded a shot on target since September 29th of 2018 in a match.
And it's something that they've got to work on, because like you said, Dan, just absolute quality defense, but just can't turn it over on the other side.
They are 22nd in goals for right now with 18. San Antonio 17th in goals for with 22 coming into tonight. But again, the flip side, Tulsa tied for 12, 26 goals conceded. And as mentioned, they've only given up 4 in their last 8. So putting a pretty good streak together here. San Antonio FC will have one of those aforementioned set pieces trying to open their account here early tonight at Toyota Field. Clearance made by Harvey St. Clair as he goes to ground looking for a foul from the center referee, but we play on.
I'd say it's all good. Just dominant performance there for Mitch Tainer, getting first to the ball, which is exactly what you want to see. Honestly, you kind of want that type of energy going towards the goal, too.
And a foul on Kevin Lambert here. A little over-aggressive against Andrew Booth, formerly of the Miami FC, who's making his 4th appearance since coming over to Tulsa. 7 goals in his 66 career USL Championship appearances. Both these clubs missing a lot of players the last time they met, and that's over the top. It's Diallo, and a great save by Solignac, stepping out to rob Boubacar Diallo on the first quality scoring chance for Tulsa.
Pablo Solignac coming in just in the nick of time. You see why he's the starting keeper out here. He was off his line quick. He was not giving any chances, but it was this blatant lack of focus here on the SAFC back line that almost resulted in a goal. San Antonio just cannot afford to do that.
Harvey St. Clair, Faisal Batash, his first start with Tulsa, and gets it off the giveaway. Goodrum off his back heel. He was looking for Diallo. Clearance made. Out top Owen Dam, and a little too heavy on the touch, and that allowed Kevin Lambert to direct it out. Lambert, though, is hurt as he's grabbing his right leg down on the pitch.
He definitely reached for that ball. That's when you tend to expose yourself in really dangerous ways.
And calling for the medical staff to come out and take a look at the Jamaican Kevin Lambert. And you hope it's nothing serious. Would be a disaster of a loss for SAFC if he can't continue. Here was that heavy touch by Owen Dam trying to recover, and there's the reach by Lambert right there with that right ankle.
Looks like the ankle gets caught up not only in the tackle but also underneath him there. And I mean, we've seen the few times that Kevin Lambert was not involved on the field, whether it be for international duty or something else. It was a stark difference there for San Antonio. And again, another look at that reach.
So as they continue to take a look at Kevin Lambert, 2 goals in his 16 appearances in his first year with San Antonio FC. This is his 164th career appearance in USL Championship. 28 caps representing Jamaica, as well as Katie referenced, back to his international duty here over the summer. We'll take the look back at what has ailed San Antonio FC over these last 8 matches. They are scoring 0.63 goals per match over their last 8. 5 goals in the last 8 matches, 2 of them coming in the one match here, Katie, in Phoenix a couple weeks ago.
And, you know, I think a part of that is they're changing lineups every single week. They've not had the same lineup at all at any point in the season. They've battled injuries, but they have had some consistency up top. And so when you look at it, I mean, Marcina said it himself, between the statistics of possession, they're just not a team that I think does well with high possession numbers. I think they move much better when they're moving vertically, 1-2 touch. And so while there are some statistics showing some positives, I think they might need to focus on the other statistics, right?
Their possession has been very good all season, 52% coming into play tonight, and their accuracy, they were 65-66% passing accuracy for much of last season. Again, that was when they were playing those long vertical passes. That is really no longer a part of SAFC's game, so that passing accuracy is up. They just got to find a way to, as you talk about, get that creativity, connecting those passes in the final third of the field, and just executing, just kind of bearing down and making the most of your opportunities. They've had 2 good looks from Burra here so far in the first quarter hour and have been unable to convert. Tainer will play it off Batash. Batash is an interesting story, Katie. 16 goals in 44 matches in Major League Soccer Next Pro, 7 in 17 this year with Tacoma Defiance. He was their leading scorer before they finally let him go after not seeing a role for him on the first team in Seattle.
And only came into the game versus Indy, only played about 20 minutes, but coach was impressed with what he saw. Case in point, starting out here today, and he's really the guy that he wants to feed the ball through quite a bit. I think it's going to be change maker. As you can see, a great touch there, trying to move the ball across.
Pachoco over again on that left flank, and here's Harvey St. Clair getting forward on the right flank. Serves this one in, goes straight up in the air off the head of Burra. Andrew Booth will settle underneath. Batash trying to take it back from Diallo, and Burra steps up to make the interception, and then he's slowed up by Diallo coming back, and Diallo will be whistled for the foul.
Physical game, we'd expect nothing less, of course, and not about to let San Antonio get up with numbers on the back line.
Mario Sanchez said it to you. This is a must-win game in his mind for San Antonio FC. 6 points below the playoff line, and he expects SAFC to play with the urgency of needing to get all 3 points here tonight.
Yes, he fully expected this to be not a total uphill battle, but definitely not a walk in the park by any means. Not only is it the fortress of Toyota Field that they're playing at here, but also just that sense of urgency that you're talking about, Dan.
It's a nice little run here, set up by Tainer for Lucho Solignac, and a throw awarded to San Antonio. Solignac from Hernandez in space and puts it through. Welcome back to the 11, Lucho Solignac. San Antonio on the board in the 15th minute.
He's the guy that Alan Marcina was hoping to unleash and unlock here. And you know where this started from, Dan? It started from the hustle. He hustled all the way off the field. He got the ball. He threw it in as quickly as he possibly could. And then he booked it right here into the 5. Beats the defender. Great touch. And he doesn't waste a single bit of time taking that finish. No hesitation at all whatsoever. And that is a finisher.
A guy that they have been missing all season, just making his 4th appearance of the year, 2nd goal in those 4 appearances. That is his 10th career goal in 19 matches with San Antonio FC. And Jorge Hernandez sets him up for his 8th assist of his campaign. And for Hernandez, that is his San Antonio FC all-time leading 18th career assist in just 2 seasons of work.
You mentioned he'd been battling injury, finally getting back into the starting lineup, and I think that was definitely part of the game plan, was to get him in, give everything he has, and try to get that early goal. And this could very well be the goal that makes all the difference.
So that ends the SAFC scoreless drought at 204 minutes and ends the FC Tulsa without conceding at 3:06. But here's Tulsa coming back, and Booth is dropped in the area, and I don't believe a penalty awarded, although everybody for Tulsa's got their arms up expecting one.
This is when firing off the smoke bombs after a goal kind of backfires. I mean, it was hard even looking through the smoke from up here. Imagine being out there and in the middle of it. He's just coming out at the ball. You kind of lose it, and yeah, he clips him a bit there. But there is a lot of smoke in the way. I don't know how you could blame the keeper in that one.
So Andrew Booth, again in a opportunistic scoring position, and the referee felt there wasn't enough contact from the keeper in coming out that it deserved a penalty. San Antonio FC maintains their 1-goal lead. You know, sifting through some of the numbers this year, Katie, on San Antonio FC's season, some of the things that have just been so unlike SAFC under Alan Marcina over the last 5 years have been really rearing their ugly head this year. 15 times where San Antonio FC has taken the lead, they have conceded 10 times. That's a 33% defending rate, one of the worst in USL Championship. Only 3 times this year have they taken a lead into halftime, and their average lead in a match is 14 minutes per game.
There's absolutely no excuse for that. It begins to make, just makes you question why that is. You know, where is that lapse of focus coming from? Is it from fatigue? Is it, who knows, right? But that's definitely something that I know Marcina is very aware of, as he'd mentioned, struggling in both 18s here. But again, I mean, now you finally got your starting back line in that he's used to, with between Mitch and Kendall Burks and Carter Manley. So hopefully things begin to turn around here for San Antonio.
They've got the early lead in the opening quarter hour on the goal from Luis Solignac, his 2nd of the season. It's the 5th time that San Antonio has scored in the opening quarter hour so far this year. But again, this is Batash up top, and the save by Cisniega. Doesn't have to flinch from his position. Pablo Cisniega making his 12th start of the season with a record of 4 wins against 3 defeats and 4 draws. He's allowed 13 goals, so a more than respectable 1.18 goals against average coming into tonight. But again, The issue more times than not, as we've talked about, has been San Antonio FC just not giving him enough run support. But he's got the goal ahead here tonight. And SAFC with the 1-0 lead here 20 minutes into the match. And a hot, humid night here in South Texas. Temperature at kickoff 96 degrees. A little bit of a breeze coming out of the southeast at about 8 miles an hour. Dew points in the upper 60s, so players will certainly feel it by the time this match rolls on into the second half.
Absolute wave of heat out there right now, and this is coming from a Texas native who's used to this heat. It just felt different today, and even being from FC Tulsa, you know that this is going to be a tough game.
Mentioned the 17th all-time meeting between these clubs. San Antonio has won 7 of the 17, as Peñaranda will climb the ladder over Solignac to bring it down. But Katie, they've never won here at Toyota Field. Tulsa, lifetime 5 losses, 3 draws in their 8 matches here at Toyota Field, where they have been outscored, including the goal here right now, 16-6 in the 8 total matches. And that's just only in regular season play. They also lost here back in the 2017 Western Conference quarterfinals. This is Andrew Booth. Up top, Philip Goodrum into the box. Serves it back out here now. He's defended well there by Flores Blanco. St. Clair and Booth. A little space here for Goodrum. Across the face of goal, Solignac reaching out to stab it.
Tulsa doing a good job to overload one side of the field. They're clearly working as a unit, which is hard to do, especially if you're defending a little bit more in the mid-range area to get up with numbers like that. Definitely had San Antonio on their heels in that one.
Last time these clubs met, they really overloaded on the left side with Diego Pacheco. And that was more so for the fact for San Antonio is on cue. Pacheco will get the service here on the left flank. But SAFC only had 7 regulars available in that match back on the 8th of June. Between the injuries and the international call-ups, there were a lot of Academy players logging a lot of minutes that night in Tulsa.
That there were, and not even having professionals on the bench to go to if needed. I mean, it was a skeleton crew, to say the least. Great defense.
Goodrum's shot blocked. Tulsa will maintain possession.
But heating up for Tulsa, no doubt. They're hungry and they want it.
Edwin Lasso will switch the play. St. Clair. The run here for Diallo, or rather Booth. And again, they work that right side and try to play the low service back across. Solignac reads it well. But for a Tulsa club that also hasn't been scoring very much as of late, this has been very good from them here in the first 22 minutes.
Yeah, I call that exact run the Sophia Smith. She loves to take it all the way down to the end line, pass it back to the 5 or the PK mark, and is looking for the late run. So you see the wheels turning there. That's what they're trying to do, but it's that back pass isn't strong enough.
San Antonio will take the throw here. Armed with a 1-goal lead, Luis Solignac scoring his 10th career goal with San Antonio FC in the 15th minute on the service from Jorge Hernandez, who picks up his league-leading 8th assist of the year and his 18th all-time assist with San Antonio FC. That's the most in club history. Solignac, Flores Blanco, and Edwin Lazo. Pressured there by Solignac. Lazo, nifty turn. Switching the play. Bradley Bourgeois, 30 years of age, in his 128th appearance with Tulsa here tonight. In fact, Bourgeois actually played in that Western Conference quarterfinal match back in 2017. The only player for either side that was around back in 2017. That was the first ever playoff match here at Toyota Field, the first ever playoff match for San Antonio FC in USL Championship, and it was a 2-1 San Antonio FC win that night thanks to the late PK and stoppage time by Ever Guzman. Put it away for San Antonio.
Ever Guzman, good guy, quality player. Bradley Bourgeois, also the captain here tonight, longtime captain. He's from Cypress, Texas, went to University of Tulsa and played for Nashville SC in the MLS. So just quality caliber player there.
His 9th professional season here now with Batash over the ball on the set piece. Chips one in and a little bit too heavy. Cisniega reads it well. It's a critical 3-match stretch for San Antonio FC here over the next 3 Saturdays. Tonight against Tulsa. Next Saturday on the road against a underachieving Pittsburgh Riverhounds club, although you can never take a Bob Lilly coach club for granted. And then North Carolina FC coming to town here in a couple of weeks. Bura in stride. Solignac looking for Agudelo, unable to run it down.
That transition into the attack, it felt a little rushed. It felt a little not as composed as maybe it could have been. And of course, you got to be excited. It's a great win here. It's a transitional moment. He's getting out, but you can see where he's looking for a clearer passing lane. Barely gets it off, and it just seems kind of forced. Not as clean as you might want it to be, but it's a good effort nonetheless.
And he had a little slide there trying to plan as well, you saw on the service. And so he's down right now, that being Bura, who's got to get some medical attention here as well. And again, the hot and humid conditions don't certainly help the hammies on a night like tonight. We'll have the training staff certainly at their top performance to keep these players fit here for 90 minutes this evening.
Great time for everyone to grab a swig of water and start talking it out. Some really good quality movement going through the middle of the field there for San Antonio. I think part of that is because Jorge Hernandez is helping him get up.
Here's a look at the standings in the Western Conference as we begin week 22 of 34 weeks in USL Championship. SAFC right now 11th in the table, right behind Tulsa. They're 6 points below the playoff line, currently occupied by Monterey Bay FC. And as we said, these next 3 matches, Katie, with Tulsa and 2 other clubs in Pittsburgh and North Carolina who are also below the playoff line in the Eastern Conference, you almost feel SAFC has to win a minimum of 2 and probably get points in all 3 to get themselves back in the picture of the top 8, because they have got some tough clubs coming to Toyota Field later in the season. Sacramento, Charleston, Lou City, Detroit City, all still coming to town here over the next couple months of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm feeling like they're going to need to win all 3 of those if they really want to have solid hope at getting into the playoffs and not having to rely purely on who's losing or tying and the final moments of securing points to get over that red line. And it's very doable. So really in a great position. Lots of hope to have here, especially you're unlocking some scoring power from Lucho there up top. They are not out of the question for me. And then once you get into playoffs, it's just game by game after that.
And they have the experience of a playoff club. The question is, they might have to do it away from Toyota Field, where they've had minimal luck this season, just 1 win in their 10 matches so far on the road. They'll get their first corner here of the evening. Oh, it's a tasty night, though, of games, cross-conference games across the USL this evening. New Mexico at home against Lou City. Monterey Bay at home against Tampa Bay. Orange County at home against North Carolina, and Sacramento at home against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. All those matches coming up later. So none of those 4-point or 6-point games, we should say, that are up for grabs tonight in the Western Conference. So you really got to take care of your business here tonight when you do have a 6-point match like SAFC does here.
First corner of the game for San Antonio.
Hernandez. Back post was looking for Tainer, and that ball curls out. And back to Johan Peñaranda. First goal allowed by Peñaranda since July the 4th in the 59th minute against Colorado Springs. They basically go a full month without giving up a goal. And it snaps that 316-minute club record shutout streak.
But who's counting, right? I mean, that's pretty impressive. You got to hand it to him, and especially when he's up for keeper of the month here, you know that's got to feel a certain type of way, letting up a goal.
And I'm not sure anything he could have done with it. A just tremendous shot with power off the foot of Lucho Solignac, and a beautiful setup by Jorge Hernandez.
Definitely the pace on that ball was going to be hard for anybody to stop. He was in good position. It just went right under the glove.
Andrew Booth. Batosh. Michael Batosh brings here to the final third for Tulsa. At least we've seen from him early on.
Constant movement, directing play.
St. Clair serves it off. Flores Blanco takes a funny hop. Goodrow looking for Batosh's direction, and he could never collect it. Tainer with a clearance. Jorge Hernandez upfield. And Hernandez, what a ball. Shannon Gomez will track it down off in that far corner. Serves it back in. Agudelo going down to the box. Peñaranda will pick it up off the pitch.
Great hustle there from Juan Agudelo. You'd see that whole transition started because he checked back and gave a passing lane to Jorge Hernandez. Received the ball, sent it right back, put it over top. That's the kind of movement that you see when you've got a couple guys up top who are moving well together. And I don't think we've seen that kind of movement even from Juan Agudelo prior to this.
Peñaranda, as he looks in the direction of Philip Goodrum. Tainer climbs the ladder, volleying it away. St. Clair, plenty of daylight here in the midfield. Seeks out Pacheco on that left flank. Service into the box. Tainer makes the clearance out. Mitchell Tainer tonight in his 105th regular season match for San Antonio FC. Is the club's active leader, 9 goals for the San Antonio captain. We get our first hydration break here as we cross into the 32nd minute. The conditions here this evening. Luis Solignac's goal in the 15th minute has got the home side ahead. And if you're just joining us, here's how San Antonio FC got on the board. You don't see the hustle play before that. Tremendous ball, though, from Jorge Hernandez, though, and Solignac with a finish.
Beautiful chip, beautiful finish, and once again, you saw the pace behind it. Johan in a great position there to stop. He's reading the play. He's just not expecting the shot to come off as quickly as it did, and it's that quick trigger there from Lucho that really got it done. And once again, they've got a finisher on their hands.
8th assist for Jorge Hernandez. That not only leads San Antonio FC, that leads all of USL Championship to go along with his chances created coming into tonight, which stand at 58 after that. There you see the assist leaders for San Antonio FC. And Hernandez is also first in USL in crosses attempted. 181 crosses attempted through the first 20 matches of the regular season coming into tonight.
Jorge Hernandez is what you get when you have ability and finesse that meets hustle. This guy will get up to the high corners of the field. He'll cover the midfield. He'll get back. He'll get up. Again, just an engine that doesn't stop. Now you pair him with Lucho, another guy who's got that hustle mentality. It's contagious. The more guys that you put on the field with that type of mentality, the more you're going to get that from your other guys.
Solignac missed the first 6 matches of the regular season dealing with lower body injury that he suffered prior to preseason. And then he got into the match in Hartford on the 20th of April. And he scored a penalty in limited minutes. And you're thinking, okay, he's all good to go. But then he did not return for the next 2 months of the regular season. That injury kind of crept back up on him. But he was able to log some minutes here with a friendly against Deportivo Saprissa and the previous 2 matches against Orange County and Memphis, trying to build up that game shape. And Al Marcina's just hoping he's got enough left in that 33-year-old body that can push SAFC across the finish line into the USL Championship playoffs.
Right. I think in the past 2 games, Marcino is trying to save the best for last, kind of bring him in as a spark off the bench, see what you can get done. But I think this approach is a lot stronger. You have a bunch of fresh legs, bring the powerhouse that you have while you have it, and try to get the job done, and that's what happened. And again, it's just extending those minutes, keeping him safe and consistent.
Pacheco and Andrew Booth, and that's over goal on the attempt. Set up by Harvey St. Clair, who has found a role on that right flank Let's take a look again at Andrew Booth, the former 4th-round pick by Minnesota United back in 2020. Started the season in Miami. He's already beaten San Antonio FC back on the 27th of April in a 2-1 win for Miami down in South Florida.
And you see how much he's helped FC Tulsa, like, constantly playing through him. He's constantly offering passing lanes. And, you know, again, it's that time in the season where most signees aren't becoming available. The market is depleted. You're trying to make a late playoff push. So a lot of what you're seeing here on these rosters across the league is what you're getting.
Yeah, a lot of clubs right now across USL are searching out amongst USL clubs to see if they can find some transfers or loans available. And we've seen that across the league this week, maybe most notably Panos Armenakis from Phoenix going to Memphis just the other day. Armenakis, who had a great run with Phoenix, but then oddly didn't appear in the match here a couple of Saturdays ago. And you knew something was amiss, and so then maybe the transfer now makes a little bit more sense that he finds himself in Memphis and his time in Phoenix done.
Right. A similar situation happened with Orange County SC when San Antonio went to play. There was no Sofiane Jafal in the mix, and now he's here on the SAFC roster. Might have just popped back on the plane with them, who knows. But, yeah, just so much movement going on in the league that at times it can be hard to follow.
Yeah, Jafal, who's appeared in one match with San Antonio FC after coming over from Orange County. That's tricky from Jorge Hernandez, and he gets clipped up by Andrew Booth. And Booth will go into the books here of J.C. Griggs to the caution here in the 36th minute. 5th caution of the season on Andrew Booth. Couple players tonight on card accumulation warnings. Let's take a look at the foul here by Andrew Booth.
Trying to stand him up, he gets beat, so he's going to clip at the heels there. It's not good the first time, and he comes in a second time, and that'll do it.
Mitchell Tainer and Philip Goodrum for Tulsa, both one caution away from an automatic one-match suspension.
For both teams, it feels like anything of that nature is going to be detrimental for them, just for where they're sitting at the standings and what needs to happen.
Hernandez. Tainer across the face of goal. Bura keeps it alive. Looked like Kevin Lambert might have been in an offside position, no matter, as Peñaranda came up with the ball. That yellow taken by Booth was the 58th caution of the season by Tulsa. They're number 10 in cautions in USL Championship. SAFC leading USL in fouls conceded coming into week 22, 335. Fouls conceded by San Antonio FC already this season. Peñaranda. Tainer with a header forward. Owen Dam will switch the play. St. Clair. Back into the midfield. Well done there. And a nice recovery by Lucho, showing he can play both sides of the field. Solignac will get the return ball from Flores Blanco. Stops on a dime. Agudelo resetting with Jorge Hernandez as SAFC recycles the attack.
There's that hustle that I'm talking about that is absolutely contagious. And not only that, but the composure is another piece that he brings to the puzzle.
Carter Manley looking in Agudelo's direction. Flores Blanco. His service. Looking for the head of Solignac. They're doing their part, certainly trying to search out Lucho here in the first half. I feel they finally have a striker and a finisher on their hands. SAFC trying to make the most of those opportunities here so far.
Definitely part of the game plan was either finding the feet or the head of Lucho Solignac here.
He's an imposing figure at 6'1", 179 pounds, the native of Buenos Aires. Spent the COVID year here in San Antonio and then went off to El Paso Locomotive. And he had a penchant, Katie, for just scoring goals right off the bat. Scored the fastest goal in San Antonio FC history in the opening seconds, and multiple times scored in the opening minutes of matches.
That's the guy that you want on your team for sure. And I think, looking at this game, he scored pretty early as well, wasn't taking any chances. And I think a lot of that comes from, look how switched on he is. Look at his hustle. If you're starting from the very first second like that, that's exactly what's going to happen is an early goal. And that to me is a mindset, and it's kind of a way of being.
Nice turn by Burra. Boy, he's played the midfield role well here tonight. Service out wide is Shannon Gomez. Head out of harm's way by Alexis Suahi. Burra back over the top. Gomez lofts that here in the direction of Jorge Hernandez. Drops to Andrew Booth. And upfield, Goodrum. St. Clair's the attack comes forward here for Tulsa. Little stutter step by St. Clair trying to shrug off Mitchell Tainer. Nice ball back to Batash. Slips past Hernandez. Faisal Batash looking at Pacheco's direction. Pacheco to the top of the 6-yard box and headed away from harm's way.
Great timing there from Kendall Burks. Everyone else kind of jumped early. A lot of times you have a tendency to jump with. Instead, he read the ball really well. Was able to make that clearance.
Diallo had a great scoring chance in the opening minutes. Back across in Booth's direction. Flores Blanco knocks it out. Kept alive by San Antonio FC. And the turn on to Agudelo here now. Quickly approaching the halftime whistle here. SAFC up 1 on the goal by Luis Solignac in the 15th minute. Goodrum! Philip Goodrum with the equalizing goal just before halftime. His 5th of the season, and the finisher that Alan Marcina was concerned about levels the match for Tulsa.
And it all started with that turn from Diogo Pacheco. I mean, breaking ankles out there on that left wing. He was a source of pain for San Antonio in the last matchup, and this time he's going to book the assist. He's taking it, and it's the shield here. It's an overcommitment from Carter Manley, but he has that composure and puts it in the right spot. The diving header past the keeper. Woo, that's going to go on the highlight reel there for Philip Goodrum.
Philip Goodrum's 5th goal of the season, his 17th career goal with FC Tulsa in 37 appearances. The green and white here, and Tulsa just before halftime able to level this match at 1. And that goes back to what we talked about, Katie, earlier. Now the 16th time when SAFC's gotten the lead, the 11th time they have conceded that with an equalizing goal.
And you hate to go back to statistics, but this is one of those that sticks out like a sore thumb that it's going to be hard for them to bury unless they're able to put another goal away. And it kind of feels like the pressure is really on even more so here.
And SAFC will earn their 2nd corner of the match. And neither club certainly looking like a team that has trouble scoring, or at least creating opportunities. The opportunities have been plentiful here on both sides in the first half.
It really is some good soccer when you're looking between the 18 in the center circle. Great movement through the middle, great movement into the box, and now we're getting some quality finishing too.
So 1-1 as Hernandez will take the corner. Left-footed outswinger in this situation.
Manley and Diallo getting a talking to here.
Carter Manley's first match at Toyota Field since the 1st of June. 2 months since he's been available for selection here at home. Returned to the lineup last Saturday night in Memphis. Here's Hernandez. Bradley Bourgeois able to get up and head that one out. That's a dangerous ball sitting there, and Gomez will play it off Philip Goodrum, and it'll roll back here now for Pablo Cisniega. One thing I noticed yesterday coming out to training, Katie, it is the first week of August. This is the best I've seen the pitch at Toyota Field at this point of the summer in a long time.
So true. Definitely beats that Memphis 901 field, which is a dirt/grass/baseball field. But luckily, San Antonio has always had a really nice field. Nice and lush for being in Texas.
And I was going to say, because that rain all last week certainly played a big part of it. You don't get a week's worth of rain in the final week in July in a South Texas summer. And because of that, that has allowed the ball to move a lot better here tonight than we'd normally see in the summer. You don't get those dead patches where the ball dies. I think the field conditions are immaculate for this time of the season. Solid
point. Someone got out there and did a rain dance, because you never see that kind of rain midsummer here in San Antonio.
We've got a couple added minutes out of the hydration break here, so a little more time to play in the opening 45. Solignac making the run. Oh, nice little touch there. Unfortunately, directs it wide as he was going down to ground on the service ball there from all the way out beyond the midfield line.
He's clearly one of those players that anytime the ball is in the vicinity of his feet, you're holding your breath, because it's a very real possibility that thing's going to go in the back of the net.
Fourth official, William Hale, tells us we'll have 5 minutes of added time here at the end of the opening half. 1-1. Solignac in the 15th minute. Goodrum in the 42nd. The two finishers getting on the board here in the first half tonight. Edwin Lasso is fouled by Shannon Gomez. Shannon disagrees. Lasso says, so you pulled the back of my jersey, the Colombian.
Gotta be a little more sneaky than that.
Shannon Gomez tonight appearing in his 74th regular season match with San Antonio FC. Chasing down Mitchell Tainer atop the leaderboard among active players. It'll be interesting what adjustments both coaches make at the half. It has been a little bit more leaky, I would say, for SAFC on their back line so far here in the first half than it has been for Tulsa.
I think that's part of the challenge sometimes of running three out of the back.
St. Clair, a look into the box. Player goes down inside for Tulsa. Again, we play on. Second time a player hits the ground inside the box in the first half. Both times, center referee says play on. And Agudelo has the feet taken out from underneath him.
A great spot for a set piece. You've seen Jorge Hernandez put it in some dangerous spots here from this distance. Going back to that 30% success rate from set pieces. Got to see what happens here now with Lucho in the mix.
San Antonio FC looking for some late first half magic. They've only gone to the locker room at the half 3 times with the lead in their first 20 matches this season. Hernandez. It's a good ball. Volleyed across. Peñaranda will settle underneath it. Johan Peñaranda.
Some quality ups there from him. Needing the ball there.
He's only faced 1 shot on target on the 3 total San Antonio FC shots. That was the goal by Solignac. Meanwhile, 1 save for Pablo Cisniega at the other end unofficially here so far. Bradley Bourgeois. Back through the midfield. Owen Dam. Searching out Diallo. And Pacheco. Diego Pacheco. Lofting it back across. Booth lets it ride. St. Clair chips it back into the area. It's defended out by San Antonio as Lasso comes over to play it here for Tulsa. Lasso, deep in the corner, is trapped there, will concede possession. See Agudelo trying to open it up for Lambert, and he's successful there. Lambert in space. Solignac getting back onside. Solignac, save Peñaranda. No, the flag is up. The goal is waved off.
So unfortunate there for San Antonio. Kevin Lambert just holding on to that ball a little bit too long. You saw that initial run coming from Lucho. Had he passed that ball there into that initial diagonal right there, had he let it go a little bit earlier. So what does he do? He comes on side, but
he's off right there,
backline is smart enough to stay high and get him offside there,
Peñaranda got fingertips on it. But again, that power from Luis Solignac able to fire it through. Unlucky for San Antonio, but you could freeze it right there when Lucho was calling for the ball at his feet and just couldn't get the service that he wanted at that specific point.
That would have been the moment, no doubt. But again, we're watching it from up here at a bird's eye view. Who knows what was in Kevin Lambert's peripheral at that time, but it's pretty loud in the stadium as well. And there goes Alan Marcina with the warning.
A yellow to the San Antonio FC head coach.
Not happy about that offside call.
But he should be happy that twice his club has been very close to conceding a penalty in this first half, and both times the referee has let him play on.
Yeah. You should also be happy with what you're seeing from Lucho and Agudelo up top. It's really good stuff.
Oh, beautifully done by Jorge Hernandez. That's a foul. That'll be a professional foul there. And a yellow to Lasso here in the 51st minute. And one last crack at it for San Antonio.
And he'll happily take it too. Jorge on the breakaway. That would have been really bad there for Tulsa.
And in many ways, he should be fortunate that's only a yellow.
Yeah. Lucky he was.
Horse collar drag down tackle from Edwin Lasso.
Right. If he had been the last defender, that would have been a red. But he had a couple guys behind him, so the hustle's there. He's booking it and down by the collar.
That gets you 15 yards in the National Football League. Here it gets you a yellow.
Yeah. Flag thrown.
So one final crack at it for Jorge Hernandez and San Antonio FC before the halftime whistle. Search out Tainer. And that is how the first half comes to an end. Wonderful to see Luis Solignac back in the starting 11 for San Antonio FC. His goal in the 15th minute gives the home side the early lead, but Philip Goodrum's equalizer in the 42nd minute has us level at 1 here at Toyota Field. Both clubs looking for points, looking for wins here tonight, trying to get back into playoff contention. Level at 1 at the half as we continue here on Bally Sports.
I'm Sarah, and this is our H-E-B Bakery watermelon cake. Our watermelon cake is a white cake with watermelon buttercream. Not only are you seeing the watermelon, you're tasting it too. The best part? No seeds. H-E-B Bakery watermelon cake. 2 Texas with love.
A man in San Antonio was having trouble with the Frost Bank app. So Frost Tech Support drove to his house. They took the phone into the lab and wrote a custom software patch? Seriously? This never happened.
It did. And they drove it back to him the same day.
I'm shook.
Excuse me, you're what?
What would you do if you won a big jackpot? Buy a new car. Take a vacation. Pay off your house. Turn your dreams into reality at Texas' premier entertainment destination. Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel in Eagle Pass, Texas.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun. Like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, qualified buyers get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2024 Tundra. Offer ends September 3rd.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Sal, got it! Solignac finishes it.
The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I don't care. I paint the town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses are broken free from the fields.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
One at the half here at Toyota Field. Goals from Luis Solignac in the 15th minute, and Philip Goodrum in the 42nd has us level after 45 with 45 to go here on Bally Sports. As we welcome you back upstairs to the booth with Katie Goodman, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. We were talking off air. That was a fun first half. We haven't had a lot of fun first halves or matches that have brought us some excitement like we saw in that first 45 minutes there.
Fully agreed. Great stuff between the 18 boxes, and then you throw in some quality goals in the mix. Diving headers, quality first, second touch finishes. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you want to be watching here on a Saturday night. Lots of games going on, but this is the one.
Take a look at the highlights from this one. Early chances. I mean, chances plentiful for both clubs here in the first 45.
Yes, I mean, a near miss from Burra there. Tried to go outside the boot. Didn't get the bend on it that he wanted, but that would have been a pretty one.
And then this is Diallo over the top, and maybe one touch too many. Cisniega comes out with a big save there.
Yeah, able to get off his line really quick and read that one, shut down the angle, and of course defenders doing a good job to shut down the other side of the goal there too.
Luis Solignac hadn't started since August of last year, and it's just a perfect spot for him to get San Antonio FC on the board.
It's the absolute spark that San Antonio has needed. Look at this hustle into the 5 and just not wasting any time at all, putting it right into that seam just past Peñaranda.
And just before halftime, Diogo Pacheco had a couple of goals against San Antonio. His service to Philip Goodrum is the equalizer.
And that's why he's the finisher. I mean, beautiful turn to begin with. Opens up the space, but it's Goodrum's diving effort here that gets them the goal.
5th goal of the season for Philip Goodrum, and a nice one at that on the header. That has us level at 1. San Antonio FC did have a goal waved off Solignac offside in stoppage time there at the end of the first half. But you look at the first half numbers, Katie, from this match. I mean, it's been an even match, and again, kind of just goes to a lot of what we've talked about here so far. Both clubs certainly creating enough.
Really even, but it feels like for me that San Antonio is getting better looks at the goal than FC Tulsa. It was even to the point of where I thought, is San Antonio getting more shots on target? Not exactly, but they're getting themselves into better scoring positions. I think a big part of that is Lucho being in the mix, just running and pulling defenders out of the way, giving other people really good looks, getting really good looks himself. Again, it's that missing piece that San Antonio's needed.
And the big question for SAFC is how long can Lucho go? He hasn't played a full 90 minutes this year, and I got to believe that Al Marcina isn't going to press him too much here at least you would think in this first go-around back in the starting 11.
Right, in the last game, he was counting down the minutes to get him in at the 60-minute mark. Now he's played a full 45. It makes you wonder, can he start this second half? If I'm Alan Marcina, if I've got any bit of time in him, even if it's 10 minutes, I'm going to start him in this half just so he can be that spark and maybe get another look at goal. He's obviously the game-changer, difference maker out here.
Yeah, probably stretch him out to an hour. We'll see beyond that how much Lucho Solignac can give San Antonio FC here tonight. He's given them plenty so far here in the first 45, including the goal that has us level at 1. One apiece from Toyota Field as our halftime continues after this.
When you shop or donate at Goodwill, you help create good jobs in our community. Visit goodwillsa.org/goodjob. Good job, everyone.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know.
When your family is growing, we're here for you throughout your pregnancy with just the right care and support for you, for your baby, as your family welcomes your newest little ray of sunshine.
I don't really try, I'm just athletic. I ain't really high, I'm just level-headed. Tell me why the click looking magnetic. Tell me in the city when I'm back in it.
It was tax season in Dallas. Late one night, an accountant made a large deposit at Frost Bank. But it was meant for Other Bank. No problem. The next morning, a Frost banker took it to Other Bank and made the deposit for him? Really?
It happened.
Who does that? Those are some nice people.
Week 22 wraps up across USL Championship on the Saturday night. Some interesting cross-conference matchups. Lou City up on the road at New Mexico 1-0. Just underway in Monterey, 0 between Tampa Bay and Monterey Bay FC. Likewise in Orange County between them and North Carolina. And in Sacramento, 0-0 with Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. Here at Toyota Field, level at 1 apiece. Second half action coming up on the other side here on Bally Sports.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a new 2024 Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month for 36 months. Offer ends September 3rd.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Deep dishes for tourists. Tavern-style pizza is our thing. You just had to tell America about our thin, crispy crust.
Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Sorry, Chicago. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
As the #1 wine retailer in Texas, we're always looking for incredible wines. And we found some of the absolute best in Europe, where, like H-E-B, many of the wineries are family-owned and over 100 years old. From Pinot Noir in France, to Sangiovese in Italy, to Tempranillo in Spain. Every bottle reflects their unique environment beautifully, and every glass is simply perfection. Exceptional European wines. Another reason why at my H-E-B, here, everything's better.
Who can tell me what they want to be when they grow up? Rico?
Are you seriously gonna have nachos for all?
San Antonio FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. It's a beautiful Saturday night, the first Saturday in August here as you scale above downtown San Antonio in the Pearl District here, and a good one at Toyota Field, just 15 minutes up to the northeast on I-35, tied at 1. Hey, make this summer an unforgettable one from our friends at Community First Health Plans. One grand prize winner will receive a private practice with a coach and a player here at Toyota Field 5 winners will receive 10 tickets to a future San Antonio FC game. Enter now at sanantoniofc.com/communityfirst for your chance to win the experience of the summer. Right now, a pretty good experience for those on hand here in this level match as we begin things in the second half. And good news, Katie, Luis Solignac will start the second half for San Antonio FC. In fact, no changes for both clubs here as we begin things in the second 45.
Well, as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you can get any minutes at all out of Luis Solignac here in this final half, then your chances are much better of walking away with a win on this one. I mean, we saw quite a few opportunities there. You actually have the San Antonio fan cast arguing on Twitter right now whether that last effort was offside or not, but from our look, it was definitely looking like it was offside.
No VAR in USL Championship. Of course, I feel that could just bring out a whole other set of issues.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on the offsides pinky toe. That drives me crazy. It's like, just let them play the game for Pete's sake.
With Katie Goodman and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening on Valley Sports. 1-1 as we begin things in the second half. San Antonio FC and FC Tulsa. Actually, we do have a substitute. Luke Hawkinson has come on here, as he will take out Burra here to start things in the second half. So it looked like we were staying even to start things in the second half from the end of the first half. Instead, it'll be Hawkinson who will come on. Only the second time he's come off the bench this year. His 20th appearance with the club.
Really strong presence there for San Antonio. Again, he's a plug-and-play guy. You can put him anywhere, and he's going to be productive.
Hernandez in a crowd and concedes. And then Hawkinson on his first touch, unable to keep possession alive. Batash trapped. Lambert will switch out wide. Nelson Flores Blanco. So he'll get forward there on that left flank. And now we'll reverse course.
Struggling a little more to possess here early on. Memphis not taking as much of a backseat defensively. I think the best thing that they can do for themselves in this second half is to try to spread the field as much as possible. Find more seams to get in, get better looks at the goal.
Owen Dam out wide. Pacheco. It's it off Shannon Gomez. It'll be the first corner of the evening for FC Tulsa. San Antonio earning 2 in the first half. Diogo Pacheco with his second assist of the season on the equalizing goal from Philip Goodrum in the 42nd minute. Harvey St. Clair, eight-footed in-swinger here down to the near stick. First corner of the evening for Tulsa. And poorly played by St. Clair as he puts it off the outside of the netting here on the short side.
Got to really take advantage of those moments there, those corner kicks, not getting a ton. A lot of their efforts there in the attacking third just haven't been, I think, as strong as San Antonio, and they might pay for that later. All tied up here, though. Fresh game.
It's a giveaway in the midfield. And then Gomez commits the foul on Owen Dam. And that'll set up a pretty interesting set piece here for Tulsa, although we will reset it. Booth was about 10 yards behind of where the spot was. Damage yet to even get to his feet, and his teammates were already off and running.
Trying to make things happen. I would have wanted that to play on, but of course, ref's not going to do that if there's a player still on the ground.
20-year-old Owen Dam from Versailles, Kentucky. Part of that Lou City Academy that was anchored by Mario Sanchez before he ventured over here to Tulsa. It'd be the first ever head coach and technical director. Philip Goodrum's over the ball. Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What is the Lasso from Edwin Lasso? And Tulsa has the lead early in the second half.
It does not matter what keeper would have been in the goal on that one. That was getting by the best of the best keepers. Look at that celebration. Well deserved there from Edwin Lasso, a guy who's typically really quiet on the stat sheet. Only has a goal and assist on the season. A lot of guys playing through him, but man, upper 90 top bins of a shot. And it's just a powerhouse shot too. It wasn't a luck situation. It was amazing. Amazing stuff.
A golazo from Lasso, and it's 2-1 Tulsa here in the 50th minute. Just his second career goal in 64 matches. He could smile after a shot like that.
Big old smile, well deserved. He needs to put that in on his Instagram and his Twitter. Golazo from Lasso from now on. Or make it your handle. Wowza.
He can gladly send me the royalties along the way, too.
You know, it's always the quiet ones you got to look out for, the ones you least suspect.
That was a set play. I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing. Goodrum was over the ball, just dropped it off, and I don't think anybody, you probably don't have Edwin Lasso on your scouting report taking a shot from 35 yards out in that situation.
Not even in the least. You know what happened is he was probably hitting some golazos in practice, and coach said, all right, we're going to take advantage of this while nobody knows about it.
Tulsa with their first lead of the night. They had only scored multiple goals one other time since that match against San Antonio FC. That's only their 20th goal for the season. But again, it's San Antonio FC who gets ahead early. And we've seen this story a couple of times, Katie. Not only do they give up the equalizer, they then fall behind, which was something that never happened in the first 4 years of an Alan Marcina coached club.
Never. They were the come-from-behind team if they had to be. Definitely not the team that if they're up, they're getting beat. But again, made it to the playoffs back-to-back seasons. It was just a different team back then. But looking to get back to their winning ways here. And, you know, I think it's fair to say that teams play differently in playoffs because they're playing to just stay alive in general. There's a new hope restored. And so, you know, if they can just get past that red line, there's a good chance that they could go well into playoffs.
It would be their third loss this season if they don't find the equalizer when scoring first. And that hadn't happened in their prior 65 matches dating back to 2020. Plenty of time to play here as Tulsa has jumped ahead 2-1. Owen Dam. Cross goes behind Pablo Cisniega. Ball back to the San Antonio keeper. It is now the 14th time, Katie, this year that San Antonio FC has allowed a goal, giving their opponents the lead. And only 3 times in the previous 13 has SAFC come back to equalize in that situation. So back to your point, they haven't been a team that has done well playing from behind this year.
They also haven't had Lucho on the pitch for a good chunk of time, so there's still that hope left here if maybe he's got another 20 minutes or so in him.
Peñaranda. Oh, he's got to drop the ball. Was he outside the area? He was not. Dangerously close to coming outside that 18-yard box. He was able to hold his ground.
The crowd doesn't seem to think so.
And Goodrum, some trickery there on the outside. Back across, was looking for Pacheco, and it's headed out by Carter Manley. It'll be Tulsa's second quarter of the evening.
Carter Manley, this is why he's in the starting lineup. He brings a little bit of extra grit, that diving defensive header, just to make sure it's cleared out of the way. It's always a tricky one. You've got to have guts to do it, and he made it happen.
Carter Manley, his 46th career appearance with San Antonio FC, the 28-year-old. Has dealt with injuries throughout his career, trying to stay healthy here through the rest of the campaign. And the big center backs, Bourgeois, Suahe, get forward here for Tulsa on this corner. It's better service from St. Clair. It's punched out by Solignac. And it'll be awarded back to the corner once again for Tulsa.
Much better service there. Always hard to get that ball in the near post. Sometimes you want a little more leverage to flick it on, but a powerful shot near post is also tough too.
And that time handled cleanly by Solignac.
It's going to go for Jorge Hernandez out in transition.
And he might have him. Misread. Hernandez. There was a foul before the shot. As Owen Dam got pushed aside by Hernandez going for the ball. And Hernandez picks up the foul.
Not too sure about that one. We'll have to look back at it here. The ball is in the air. The ball bounces. He misses it. And he's jumping in the air, and Jorge is just holding his own. I think that might have been more of a...
It's a bit embellished by Owen Dam.
It was embellished. That's a great word, yes.
Jorge Hernandez's one goal in the campaign, speaking of Golazzos, was a Golazo plus 10 in Tulsa in stoppage time that made it a 2-1 game that night at 1 OK Field. I mean, he took that one from the corner on a diagonal angle from outside the area.
He has the ability to do it, no doubt. I think he's just so busy always trying to create stuff for other people that a lot of times he doesn't get the goal stats on the stat sheet, but assists for sure. Absolute play creator. I think that's another thing that Coach Marcina saw in Sofiane Jafal is he's another kind of one of those creative guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a little bit of him too coming into the mix at some point today.
Both Jafal and Hernandez, very similar type players, both creators, both so smart on the dribble. They see things that other players don't. And the question is, how long can San Antonio stretch out Lucho Solignac here, especially down a goal? A throw awarded here to San Antonio. I mean, Solignac's doing his part, at least to try to maintain some energy, I think.
I think his game fitness was great, especially in the first 45. It's like he really didn't miss much. But I think when you're a tenured player, you kind of know how to push past your wall a little bit. And again, it's that mentality for me, which is what takes him to the next level.
Well, and you also know how to manage yourself, too. You don't overexert, especially when you're coming back from not having played a full 90 in forever.
Nodding my head over here because he does pick and choose his moments to hustle, and that's what's important. Play smart, and as you get older, you got to play a lot smarter.
Pacheco trying to run it down. Tainer, he was trying to direct it out. Instead, will concede the corner, and that's now 4 corners already in the second half here for FC Tulsa.
You can see he's not too happy about it, but they've done well to defend these corners so far. Just got to keep your eye on Lasso now, too. Got a couple of guys who can put it away.
Bradley Bourgeois with a word for Diego Pacheco. Looks like Harvey St. Clair has lost his role here as the server after his first 3 didn't really do very much. Pacheco, the outswinger here with the left. That's a great ball. That's an even better save. Wow. Pablo Solignac, for the time being, maybe saves the match. And it was that man again, Edwin Lasso, who somehow snuck into space.
Do not blink, because if you blink, you very well may have missed that save. I mean, cat-like reflexes here from Pablo Solignac. And again, Edwin Lasso in the mix, almost a second goal under his belt. All in one game here.
Remains a 2-1 line. San Antonio FC a couple of times it has been awfully close. And it'll be a foul on Solignac. A little too over-aggressive there against Owen Dam.
Got the two-hand push. Got some words for St. Clair. This is a game, Dan. This is a game that you want to watch here tonight.
Still another half hour remaining, plus whatever added time. We also expect another hydration break coming up here. Man of the match, Edwin Lasso to this point. A goal nearly a second moments ago. Tulsa with a lead on the road here in San Antonio, where they have never won in 9 tries. 5 defeats in the regular season, 1 loss here in the Western Conference quarterfinals in 2017, 3 draws. We're on the precipice of some history here. Shannon Gomez back across into the box, a giveaway, and pushed wide of goal. It'll be awarded back to the keeper, Peñaranda. Agudelo in the mix.
And San Antonio is putting forth their best effort here. There is no denying that. Still trying to clean up some things on defense. But now it feels like they're not dictating play maybe as much as they did in that first half. A little more reactive here.
San Antonio FC back on the road next Saturday night. They'll be Highmark Stadium along the banks of the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. Take on Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who are on the road tonight in Sacramento. And it's back home 2 Saturdays from tonight. They'll take on North Carolina FC for the first time ever. Former club of Nelson Flores Blanco. Hawkinson is dropped. Also, by the way, sitting on a yellow, too, go along with his goal. He commits the foul there. Andrew Booth also sitting on a yellow as well, too, for Tulsa.
But Hawkinson brings that grit that you want there at the center of the park. Winning the first and second ball, bringing heart to the mix.
Out of the reach of Agudelo. Gomez tracks it down. Jorge Hernandez. Ball comes free into the box and the clearance made. And Goodrum is pushed from behind there by Kendall Burks.
Just really not necessary. You had lots of guys behind you. It was not a breakaway situation. I also think partly that FC Tulsa might be doing a pretty good job of drawing these fouls. Second you feel some fingertips on your back, you go with the momentum.
San Antonio FC about to go back to their bench for the second time. There's Jake LaCava getting set to come over to the 4th official.
Most likely a sub there for Luis Solignac, but LaCava also spent some time in the midfield against Orange County SC. Did a great job in that space, just really attacking minded. Did open up some gaps there though.
I'm just not sure San Antonio can afford to take out Lucho here, down a goal. Might be a move to go to the outside here, perhaps.
Also depends on how long Lucho can play. You don't want to overexert him because you want him for the next couple of games too, even if that means 1 goal here and there.
Windham concedes possession. Here's Kevin Lambert. Hernandez is fouled by Harvey St. Clair. Substitute coming on, Shannon Gomez will be the one coming off here for San Antonio FC's Jake LaCava.
Well, you called it, Dan.
Will come on off the bench. First time he's come on off the bench for San Antonio. It's his 9th appearance since joining the club from Tampa Bay Rowdies. Still looking for his first goal as Shannon Gomez's night is done after 63 minutes.
Also interesting to see him there in the winger role. So far he's been playing more of a striker position at times, and then even we've seen him in the middle where I thought he was really productive in just helping to get opportunities up top, but let's see what he can do here.
Yeah, he's out on the right flank. The last time we saw him really out as a winger was when he was interchanging a few weeks ago with Machop Chol, but he was out on the left side in that situation, so putting him out on the right side I think is the first time we've seen him in this look for Alan Marcina.
Right, and I think he naturally kind of tucks in, as you can see there. Again, with that attacking mindset, he's a natural striker and forward. But that does bring a challenge of getting back on defense. You don't want to leave any gaps open here, especially with the momentum that Tulsa has right now.
Yeah, Alan Marcina loves his mentality, loves his fit with the club. It'll be interesting to see, can he be a flag-to-flag guy here in this instance playing out wide. Here's Lasso. Skips over the tackle momentarily before he gives it back up. And Jorge Hernandez is met and he earns the foul and a free kick.
I mean, seems like he could have called the foul the first time. I guess he was trying to give him advantage, but there really wasn't much of an advantage in that situation.
Jake LaCava looking for his first goal of the season. Scored 15 times in 55 appearances with Tampa Bay Rowdies. He's 11 shots on the season, only 3 on target. 25 minutes remaining here till full time. They search out Agudelo. It's volleyed back to the keeper by Suahi.
Agudelo, a lot of times pretty strong out of the air. Just hard to see that one coming. Well defended.
Lasso. Batash. St. Clair. Andrew Booth, the engine in the midfield here now for Tulsa. And the miscommunication with Harvey St. Clair outside. Nothing yet from Tulsa off their bench.
They don't seem tired. I mean, yeah, that was a turnover there. Might be hitting that time.
They did make one substitute at halftime. Stefan Stojanovic came on for Boubacar Diallo. And now here's San Antonio back to the bench. The second window here in the second half. This is Hugo. He's going to come on for Juan Agudelo. So Hugo will come on in the 67th minute. SAFC's got one more substitute window. Tulsa still has their 3 total windows remaining. Fresh legs on of Hugo, Jake LaCava, Luke Hawkinson here in the second half. Solignac stays on.
Seems that Marcina likes to have that balance of finesse and physicality up top. I would like to see what might happen with Machop Scholl up there alongside Luis Solignac.
Hawkinson. This is his target, and Hugo over there on the far wing. Well played here by Tulsa, although the return ball can't be served back to Stojanovic, and then we get a foul in the midfield. And Jorge Hernandez is going to go into the books here. First yellow of the evening served to San Antonio FC, and for Jorge Hernandez, his 6th caution of the campaign.
Interesting call, bit of chaos there. Ref on the field to see it all, so. I mean, Jorge has been bumped around quite a bit. There's a slide there with cleats up. The ball is loose here, and he just simply goes for the ball. Everybody was. It's not that he went into it cleats up. You had Andrew Booth coming out of nowhere. I think yellow is a bit of a heavy call. Jorge, though, does need to be careful. Last thing he wants is another yellow for talking back. We've seen that happen.
Andrew Booth gives it up. Hawkinson driving the play, drops it off. Jorge Hernandez stops, surveys. LaCava. Save Peñaranda. LaCava on the short side. He's not really given a lot of real estate there, and Peñaranda did a nice job covering up that near side post.
Yes, quality stuff there, closing down, not giving him many options there. But also that transition, while we had a ton of numbers up, it felt a little stagnant. You could see that the strikers were trying to figure out, where do I go, where do I move? They're dribbling, they're carrying, and I think with the defense like you have here for FC Tulsa, you can't carry the ball. You've got to pass it. You got to let the ball do the work, find seams and split the defense.
Kava wins the ball away from Pacheco. A couple more substitutes getting ready to come on here for Tulsa now. A couple of defensive-minded substitutes in Blaine Ferry and Patrick Segrist. Andrew Booth, as he turns around Lambert, looking over the top, trying to search out Harvey St. Clair over there on the wing. That's actually Stojanovic over there, getting forward on the far side.
It's a good read from Mitch Tainer there, not to be tricked by the body language. Watched the ball, was able to get it, just couldn't quite keep possession there. You can see he's fatigued.
So Andrew Booth is off, Owen Dam is off. Blaine Ferry will come on here for Andrew Booth. And Segrist is on for Dam. Like-minded substitutes on both sides here for Mario Sanchez. Really nice game tonight from the youngster Owen Dam. Thought for a guy who's only featured in 15 career matches coming into tonight, USL Championship play, he did pretty well for himself.
That he did. Spent some time at Louisville City FC. I think that's a tough team to walk into as well, and so really had the chance to show out here with Tulsa from Versailles, Kentucky. He was actually Team of the Week on week 14.
Segrist is a veteran, 26 years of age. He's a former number 10 overall pick in the Major League Soccer Super Draft by New York Red Bulls. This is Stojanovic trying to lay it off. Stojanovic! He puts it into section 115 there. Stefan Stojanovic. Been primarily a starter. It's only the second time he's come off the bench this year, and a goal scorer at Philadelphia Union 2 the last couple of years.
Stojanovic, 3 goals and an assist, but hasn't been really super consistent there for Tulsa. Sometimes it helps coming off the bench to create some healthy competition. That last one was airmail. Maybe he put his chest over the ball. Might have been a bit more dangerous. Guess we can't all have a goal like Edwin Lasso, right?
It will be certainly in contention for goal of the week for week 22. The Golasso from Lasso.
Those are the kind of goals you dream of and daydream of.
There's LaCava, Carter Manley. Oh, over goal! A glorious chance from Hugo, and he just sent it over goal.
Such good stuff from San Antonio. You even have Carter Manley getting in the mix. He stays with the run. He stays on side. And the perfect ball right there into space. Not a defender in sight. And sometimes that's the kind of thing that happens when you're just not getting all the minutes under your belt. You're in a situation, you got a wide look at goal. The nerves get you.
10th appearance for Hugo, just turned 20 a couple of weeks ago. But those are the types of plays that really kind of sum up what Alan Marcin was talking about before the match tonight, where he said, the stats say we control, the stats say we create. Can't finish. Solignac trying to turn one on here as the defense was collapsing back on him, and he puts it over goal.
I mean, I like the effort. I like the one-touch volley, not wasting time. That's clearly his MO. He's not going to mess around with it. He means business. Yeah, he skied it, but it was a confident skying of the ball. Give him that.
He's pushed almost to 75, which is a great sign for San Antonio FC. Regardless of the outcome of this match, you have Lucho Solignac in full fit form. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I'll pass.
That is a win in itself for San Antonio FC.
Now, can you imagine if they'd had him all season, where they could be in the standings? And, you know, that must be so frustrating there for San Antonio.
And especially after they lost Santiago Patino at the beginning of the season on the transfer to Ho Chi Minh City. But that was the 2 up top they were projecting. Patino, the Raton, the Poacher, and Solignac. Coutinho left. Solignac never really got going until August. And thus San Antonio FC 6 points below the playoff line here in week 22.
San Antonio is a club just known for producing high caliber talent, taking them here, developing, sending them back to the MLS, sending them back overseas. I think that's the double-edged sword there when you're a quality program.
And those MLS loans that were so vital to this club the last few seasons, as we hit our hydration break here in the 75th minute. Sam Adeniran, Tani Oluwaseyi, Rita Zuhir, just not a part of the mix this season, especially now with the emergence of MLS Next Pro. Take a look at our scoring summary from tonight's match. Take it back to the 15th minute. Oh, a nice welcome back return for Luis Solignac into the starting 11.
Just beautiful movement all the way around. And of course, I'm going to sound like a broken record here. It's that mentality that is contagious that got him that goal there. Quick trigger, made it happen. Then the perfect turn here from Diogo Pacheco. And a beautiful diving header finish.
And then the goal of the night, just at the start of the second half. A little set play from Goodrum. And the Lasso from Lasso to the upper right corner. And that has Tulsa ahead.
Felt like a rocket from outer space there from Edwin Lasso. It has to be goal of the week. There's no way. At minimum, in contention.
And SAFC out of this hydration break will go to the bench for the final time. Solignac's night is done. He gets some 75 minutes. Sofiane Jafal will come on. And I feel like, again, that's a win. You get 75 minutes out of Lucho Solignac here tonight. Something to build on going forward. You hope, knock on wood, find whatever wood you have. If you're an SAFC fan, you hope no more injuries for that man right there, that he can continue here in the final 13 matches of the regular season.
I think as you become an older player, your minutes become sparse. You begin to see what's going on with your body and the challenges. You also have so much more gratitude for the minutes that you are on the field and able to play, and in the ways that you're able to contribute. He can absolutely pat himself on the back, making it all the way to the 75-minute mark.
Next home match for San Antonio FC, 2 Saturdays from tonight. They'll take on North Carolina FC for the first time in club history. 8 o'clock kick. Get your tickets at sanantoniofc.com. Season presented by Toyota. So Sofiane Jafal will make his home debut for San Antonio FC. Made his club debut last Saturday night in Memphis. 1 goal on the season for Jafal, but again, he's more of a facilitator rather than a goal scorer, coming over from Orange County. Solignac's night is done after 75 minutes. San Antonio FC needs 1 to equalize.
Not sure how that wasn't a foul there from Segris. A bear hug over the shoulder.
San Antonio FC is out of substitute windows, as they've used the halftime window and the 3 here in the second half. And Milo Yosef, who featured rather prominently in the first match between these two clubs back in Tulsa, he's coming over to the 4th official as he gets ready to come on.
It's really a key 1v1 guy. I don't know. Coach Mario Sanchez was hoping to make a difference there in that last game. Now that things are changing a bit here with the subs, it's probably what he's looking for.
San Antonio looking for the foul. Macaba got buried across the touchline to the right of the San Antonio bench. Instead of throw to Tulsa, Yosef will come on. Batash will come off. Batash, who had a really impressive first half, not as involved in the second half, but you can see he's a difference maker. And Tulsa certainly happy that he's a part of their form going forward here for the remaining games of the regular season.
I think that was part of one of the adjustments made at the half, was closing him down so they weren't so productive there in the attack. But then I think it came at the expense of our productivity as well. Again, it's a chess match, and it's a well-matched game here.
So Yosef on for the 18th time this season for Tulsa. They lead it 2-1 as we get ever so closer to full time here. A nice little back touch by Goodrum. Pacheco running on Carter Manley. A little cut back to the inside, a little heavy on the touch, however, as Mitchell Taintor comes away with the interception. A giveaway by San Antonio, though it's back to Taintor, and a foul whistled on Tulsa, as Lambert holding the back of his Left ankle right there. Flores Blanco. Jorge Hernandez. Cutting back to the middle of the park. LaCava. Try to give it back to Hernandez. Instead ends up at the feet of Stojanovic. Stefan Stojanovic running here with Pacheco overlapping to his left side. Stojanovic, a nifty ball. Can he seek out Goodrum? And Solignac with an offside flag up on Philip Goodrum anyway. Did not matter. Ball back to San Antonio.
That one looked close to me. Good on Mitch Taintor to get back and hustle, and for Pablo Solignac just to close off that angle. But right now, at times, looking a little bit flat-footed here for San Antonio, a little more reactive.
Mario Sanchez takes a peek at the clock as we turn into the final 10 minutes. Lasso, the giveaway. Lambert can work some magic from out here. Jafal getting forward into the box. Jafal, a shot block. It's sitting loose. Great save. LaCava denied by Peñaranda, reaching out to his right.
This is feeling pretty good here, Dan. LaCava taking the shot through traffic, did not have a good look at it, just took it off the rebound, took a note there out of Lucho's book on the quick trigger. And if it weren't for Johan there, that might have gone by any other keeper.
It's the 8th shot of the night for San Antonio FC, and they're 3rd on target. They've gotten one past the keeper, Peñaranda, who's only given up 3 now in 7 starts since taking over the reins as the keeper for FC Tulsa. This would be a monumental win for the visitors if they're going to hang on here for the final 10 minutes plus. Goodrum. Pressured there from Kendall Burks. Backpedaling. Lasso. Stojanovic, well played. As they space San Antonio out here now. St. Clair out wide. Milo Yosef.
11 of 17 goals have come in the second half for Tulsa. A good chunk of them in the 60, 70-minute marks, even in the 80-minute. This is typically when they're heating up.
On the other end, San Antonio FC has now been outscored 17-12 in the second half of matches this season. Yosef creates the turnover, trying to get it back from Goodrum. Goodrum trying to lay off here now, waiting. Back to Stojanovic! Stojanovic! Tulsa goes up 3-1 here in the 83rd minute.
Stojanovic with the somersault, a well-deserved celebration. And you gotta hand it to Tulsa. I mean, on the mark, they love their late goals. They had numbers up. They weren't panicking because they know that's their MO. You have Mitch Taintor out there, makes one heck of a tackle, tries to get up. Where is his help? San Antonio starting to break down here. Looks like exhaustion despite having fresh legs on the field. That ball goes right by 3 red jerseys. Just getting caught looking there.
And maybe the backbreaker from Stefan Stojanovic, his 4th of the season, his 15th career goal. Former second-round pick by Philadelphia Union. The visitors can taste all 3 points. They're up 2. 7 minutes, whatever added time remaining. San Antonio FC, this would be crushing, considering the way they started this match, Katie.
Absolutely, and considering what they have ahead of them still just to make it above the playoff line. I mean, you said it, Dan, at least 2 of the 3 games won. You thought this would have been one of those for sure wins for them going into this match, especially having Lucho there with the killer goal at the start. Of course, you don't want to count anyone out. 83 minutes, I'm sure there's extra time, anything can happen. But it's just not looking like that same spark of energy that they started with.
Jafal, top of the box, LaCava, put it wide.
LaCava at least causing some problems, trying to pull defenders out, trying to get a shot off. At this point, they need to change things up. Can't keep making that same run. But Tulsa just doing a great job of spreading the field, getting out in transition, getting numbers up in transition, and just staying focused all the way through.
The record that had always marked Alan Marcina's tenure here in San Antonio since he began back in 2020 was 52-0-12. That was the record San Antonio FC possessed when scoring the first goal. Unbeaten in 64 matches when scoring first. They are on the precipice of losing for the third time this year when scoring the opening goal.
Absolute breakdown, and you know, a lot of people not happy about the roster changes after you have a team that goes back-to-back to playoffs. But, I mean, you set it down. A lot of guys going back to MLS, that breaks up a big chunk of the roster, and a lot of times that means bringing in new guys. There's a trickle effect, and so that, between that and some new management here at Toyota Field, trying to go and adapt to a new style, which is a lot of possession-based. I mean, if you look at that team last season, SAFC.
Flag is up here. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you look at last season, they were not a possession team. They were highly direct. They did not waste time. If it went to the middle of the park, it was in and out. There wasn't a ton of crosses in. You know, it was just a different style of play that really worked for them at the time. But, of course, different personnel requires different changes. I think you saw a little bit more of a direct approach there with Lucho in the mix.
Tulsa has scored a 7th of their total goals for the season here tonight. The last time they scored 3 goals in a match was back on the 6th of April in a 3-3 draw with Phoenix Rising. They came into tonight with just 18 goals. They get 3 here tonight, giving them 21 total for the season. And for a club that began their tenure the same time as San Antonio FC, again, they were known as Tulsa Roughnecks back then in 2016. They're 5 minutes and whatever added time remaining away from picking up their first ever win here at Toyota Field. And this was a Tulsa club that, under the moniker of Roughnecks, there were a lot of losing seasons. Here's La Cava. Trying to open up, trying to search out wide Flores Blanco, and the miscommunication will give it back to Peñaranda. I mean, this Tulsa club was having multiple years of 3, 4, 5 wins. And over in the last couple of years, they have finally started to turn it around as Sebastian Sanchez will come on for Diogo Pacheco into the final substitute of the night for Mario Sanchez here. Just fresh legs with a youngster coming on here. Pacheco's night done. He's responsible for the assist on Goodrum's equalizer that really just changed the momentum of the match there at the end of the first half. And then Lasso's goal clearly was the important one for Tulsa that gave them the lead before Stojanovic added a huge insurance marker just a few minutes ago.
Head coach Mario Sanchez, that's what he wanted to see, was starting to put the ball away. They had a quality defense, and now it's their offense that is finally heating up here. And you got to hand it to him as a coach who took over the program just this season. Yes, walked into a team with some veterans who had some championship experience, but also added a couple of pieces of his own and has really turned this program into a success.
They came into tonight 4 points below the playoff line, 22 points, sitting ahead of San Antonio FC in the table, 10th overall. They're trying to track down Monterey Bay FC, and they, unlike any other team, have one advantage, having played the fewest number of matches, Katie, in all of USL Championship. They held as many as 3 matches in hand over some teams in the conference.
Definitely a benefit there.
That's going to be a yellow to Lambert here in the 89th minute. The late tackle.
Fair call there from the ref. It's been pretty chippy there from Lambert past couple of minutes. Who's quite banged up himself, having had his ankles chipped away.
So San Antonio FC, the challenge doesn't get any easier. They got to go to Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh Riverhounds have had a tough year themselves, but San Antonio FC has just 1 win in 10 matches on the road this year. They've lost a club record 7 consecutive road matches after the loss last Saturday night in Memphis. Is another foul, and Lambert's got to be careful here that he doesn't pick up a second yellow and be sent off. The last thing you can afford is losing Kevin Lambert for a week on a red card disqualification.
Another huge key piece here for San Antonio. Lambert, Jorge Hernandez in the middle make all the difference. If neither of those guys are on the field, count it over.
See how much added time we get here at the end of the second half, and at 5 minutes of the end of the first half. So minimum of that you'd figure, and probably a couple more because of the substitutes, but we're actually being told we might only get 4 minutes of added time, believe it or not. I don't know how you get 5 minutes in the first half and only 4 in the second half. We've had the equal number of goals, 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half. We've had the same hydration break. We've had substitutes here in the second half, and yet we've lost a minute of added time.
Right, and it feels a little chippier here in the second half, too.
There's a foul there against Tulsa, so we can sit up here and second guess 4 minutes of added time, but that is what's at stake for San Antonio FC, to try to find 2 goals somehow to come away with a point. You figure they get 1, they'll get a little bit more added time after that. But they got to get that 1 at least.
Trying to spread the field here by bringing it all the way to the back line, but it's that hustle from Tulsa. It's causing a lot of problems. They just can't quite build out of the back, and now it's
I don't mind Lambert
really compact.
Taking a go from here as he drives one in. Bradley Bourgeois will send it away. LaCava, the turn. LaCava, shot doesn't get through. Milo Yosef. There'll be a foul on Yosef. And a set piece for San Antonio FC as we come upon nearly halfway through 4 minutes of added time. Tulsa, their next match is home against Orange County, and that'll be next Friday night. And then they have a critical 3-match trip themselves. New Mexico, Memphis, Detroit City coming up for Tulsa. And Uranda. Milo Yosef has earned himself a caution. Number 5 of the season for him. So Jorge Hernandez over the ball here. Chipped into the box. Peñaranda will fall under it. He will do his best to kill off some remaining clock.
Peñaranda put to the test. Again, that goal from Lucho. Nobody was stopping that one. Not with that kind of pace and that quick of a trigger. But everything else Peñaranda has done with exceptional quality.
He only officially has 1 save tonight. San Antonio FC, of their 8 shots, only 2 have been officially listed on target, whereas Tulsa's got 5 shots of their 7 have been on target, per the numbers tonight. So again, that goes back to SAFC, 18.5% conversion rate in their last 8 matches. Not bad, middle of the pack, but their opponents had been 45%, and that number will only climb here after tonight with 3 goals on 5 shots on target. So they converted 60% tonight. San Antonio FC, it'll be 50%, but it won't be good enough here in the end.
They have had one heck of a game. A well-deserved pat on the back. And San Antonio just not looking like the same team that started.
Alan Marcino was hopeful to return to the 3-4-3 formation and back to his 11 that he wanted out there, minus maybe Reese Buckmaster, perhaps, who's out with a lower body injury. This was going to be the 11 going forward for San Antonio. It still will be. And again tonight, not enough. Final seconds of this one.
Jorge trying to take on 3 blue jerseys on his own. No passing lanes.
They go quickly. Flores Blanco trying to search out Hawkinson. Clearance from Tulsa.
At this point, it's fatigue. I mean, we're seeing turnover after turnover from San Antonio, miss hits, pressure is on. But this is what makes the difference between the teams who make it to the playoffs.
Hugo will put it over goal. A historic win for FC Tulsa. It is their first ever at Toyota Field in 10 tries as they come away with a 3-1 win over San Antonio FC here tonight.
Tough match for San Antonio. I think we saw a lot of really good stuff there from San Antonio. Some hope moving forward. And I think it's going to be about keeping Lucho on the field as long as possible. A huge game changer. But head coach Mario Sanchez can be nothing but proud of his team. They defended well. They finished well. And that's the mark of a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
6th win of the season for Tulsa. 3 big points as they closed within 1 of the playoff line. San Antonio FC loses for the 8th time in their last 9 matches. Luis Solignac returning with a bang, but San Antonio FC doesn't get enough as they fall 3-1 here, the final. SAFC on the road next Saturday. Pittsburgh Riverhounds back home in 2 weeks to take on North Carolina FC here on Bally Sports. For Katie Goodman, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. This has been a presentation of USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.